Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Uh, this is, I guess you can call this part 2 to the student video that I just did, that I just posted yesterday. Because I want to go a little bit deeper on the points that I was making and just kind of make an observation that I just made today. I was at the beach. I was just minding my own business, and which, by the way, like I can't really hear out of this here, so I have some water backed up. So excuse me if you see me like playing with my ear or something like that. Just trying to get the water out. But so I was doing my thing, catching a few waves, getting just annihilated at some points. As the waves today were pretty tense, because the wind is blowing like super hardcore, so therefore it's like you get the backwash, you get all the other things, and trying to catch a wave and trying to time it with the backwash and all that stuff, it just gets, it gets kind of crazy. So, but it's more fun because then you got to figure out like, okay, so like gotta wait for that backwash to get in there. Hopefully that wave comes in time, and then boom, you just go. Because otherwise you're just gonna crash and burn. So, but I was out there, and when you're doing your thing and you just let your thoughts just fly, and at least that's what I do when I'm at the beach. Kind of like it's my free zone, so I just kind of let things just go. And I was thinking about just cinema in general, because my mom was talking to me about something the other day in regarding to film, and it got me thinking about the nature of cinema. And I've always had this thought, but I think about it more so, generally speaking, because I'm going to speak personally for a minute, because it's where the thought originated, and then I'll tell you where I'm at. So if you guys have watched the Filming Stories videos, you guys would know that I've done some short films in the past. I've on occasion help out with a few filmmakers here and there, mostly just friends and colleagues. And I don't help out in any big capacities, though. Like, I'm not there for the writing, I'm not there to act, I'm not there to direct. Most times I'm just there to help man the camera. So, and the reason why I haven't done anything to that capacity, because I used to do the whole shebang. I used to direct, I used to write, I used to act, I used to film it. I used to do the whole 9 yards, except the editing. The editing part I couldn't do. But the reason I stopped all that is because the nature of what I was doing, even though it was personal, because the thing about doing stories, at least for me, and it might be the same sentiment for most filmmakers out there, is that I can't do anything if it's not personal. I'm not just going to go out and shoot something. Some people might do that, and for those people, I mean, hey, if it's good, it's good. Most times it probably ain't, just because you're not working from a real place. But I always think that if you work from a personal place, the production of what you're making is stronger. And as time went on, and things got more personal and more personal, to the point where, if you guys had saw the video that I did where I talked about the last short film that I had made, which I didn't release, you would know that it became extremely exploitative. And at that point, I told myself, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with doing this, because if I were to go back and do another film, I'm just going to get wrapped up in the same habits all over again. I'm going to get wrapped up in that kind of that narcissistic, kind of that selfish, very exploitative nature, just for the sake of artistry. And a lot of times, it seems to me, generally speaking, I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to student filmmakers, just regular filmmakers, your big high A-listers, whatever. Most times, it seems like nowadays, people are doing it for an exploitative purpose. It's because, like, the Venice Film Festival is happening right now, and the word that I've been hearing the most about, coming out of that film festival is shocking and crazy. Like, there's a film coming out called Poor Things, which was directed by Yorgos. Gosh, I can't pronounce his last name. Lahimos. Oh my god. My apologies. He's the guy who did The Favorite, The Lobster, which I love The Lobster. I haven't seen The Favorite, incidentally, so I'm not sure how that went, but I heard it's good. Dogtooth, which I really want to see. Killing of the Sacred Deer. That guy. He has a film coming out called Poor Things, which stars Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe. And apparently, there's a lot of sexual content in the film. And apparently that, plus, I guess, some nude sequences and other sort of things, is what's getting the most attention versus the actual story itself, which, as far as I can tell, is I've been hearing like so things about. So, and then like that's, to me, like when I hear stuff like that, you know what I mean? And I get it's a film festival. It's like that's kind of where stuff like that would appear, but I've been noticing that creeping into mainstream media more so nowadays, especially this year. Like I said, remember No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence? There's apparently a nude sequence in the film on the beach, and it's like a full frontal. And then there was that brief scene in Asteroid City, and then just taking it further than that, you know, like just the general topics sometimes in films, and then the ways that they use them. Like, I saw The Devil, which I just talked about not too long ago. That film has some very, very questionable optics. You know, some very questionable lenses to them. I'm not sure what this person has against women, but sure as hell looks like he hates women. But the point being, though, is that the nature of filmmaking, the overall purpose of filmmaking, I have noticed lately, is to be exploitative. And that's apparently what will rapture or create the best responses and create the most intrigue. In turn, being personal. But in being personal, you're also being exploitative. You're putting yourself out there in a certain capacity for the sake of attention, for the sake of validation. Which is why I did films. A lot of times, the films I was working on, I was looking for attention. I was looking for people to validate how I was feeling. I was looking for people to pity me. I was looking for people to praise me. Like, I was looking for just attention. And it seems like a lot of times that's what people are doing, like with cinema in general. Sometimes it doesn't seem like that's the case. Sometimes people are just out there just to have fun and just to do their own thing, and they don't really care too much. But even then, I have to say, like, why is it then you feel the need to put your film out in a film festival, or in a theater, or do interviews, or get all these awards? Like, what is it? Like, if it's not exploitative, then why is it that all these things have to occur? Why do all these factors still at play? And you could say that, oh, you have to market yourself and everything like that, but why, like, why does the content of it always have to be personal? Like, why can't you just do something just to have fun? Why can't you just do something just for the hell of it, you know? Now, I'm gonna sound like a huge hypocrite, because the more personal it is, the better it usually is as a film. You know, I'm just speaking as an audience member. Usually, when I see somebody who's acting very personally, I think that it's really telling. And I think that there's a lot that comes out of that. When someone's just doing things just for doing things, it's not as appealing. You know, there's that old saying where the more fun you have on a set, the less fun it is for the audience to watch, you know? So, but I'm focusing more on the filmmaking, the purpose of what you're doing. As an audience member, the personal element does make for better quality, but is that worth the cost? Is it worth putting yourself out there? Is it worth inserting a bunch of your personal business? Like, is it worth doing all that? Most times the answer should be no, because you should have some level of privacy. You should also have like, you shouldn't have to feel the need to project onto people, because it feels like that's also what you're doing as well. Like, I'm just speaking purely to the filmmaking, you know, to the filmmakers and all that sort of stuff, people who work on movies. That's what I'm referring to, you know, because for us, you know, the audiences and stuff like that, yeah, I mean, it's great when someone is acting on a personal lens. But I ask, is it worth it? Is it worth doing all that? I hope the answer is no. And, you know, and it's not to say that I'm completely done with doing what I'm doing, you know? Like, if I'll help out someone, even if it is exploitative. I'm not going to be the guy that, you know, that pushes my beliefs onto another individual. It's like, if you feel like that's your game and that's what you want to do, fine, you know. As long as I'm not involved in any real capacities, cool, I'll help you out. But I'm not gonna do the writing. I'm not gonna do all that, because I know myself. It's like a drug. Once I'm hooked on it again, then it's you know what I mean? Like, it's good to keep things private. It's good to not work under a certain kind of nature. But it feels like, in a lot of times in cinematic language, the best work usually is the most exploitative, and usually is the most reflective. And I ask that for the people who put so much of themselves out there in their work and in their art, is it worth it? Is it worth doing all that? And don't say it's for the artistic merit. Don't say it's for the artistry. That's just an excuse. You're just using that as an excuse. The real reason why you do it is because you want someone to validate your feelings. You want someone to tell you, hey, I know how you're feeling. I get it. You know, or, hey, you know, you're not alone. You want that sort of validation. That's the real reason why you do it. And I ask for anybody who does that sort of thing, is it really worth it? And if the answer is yes, then go ahead. You know, that's, you know, but in my book, I think that it's more destructive than helpful. It may help you in certain areas. I mean, doing it, for me, it helped in some capacities, but in retrospect, what I was doing was actually harming myself more than helping me. So that's why I stepped away. That's why I choose to still step away from it. If I do help out, I help out. But if, in terms of me making stuff, that's a huge question mark, you know. But I'm leaning more towards no, because I personally believe that the nature of cinema nowadays is to be exploitative is to act with a personal lens, and in turn expose people to a certain level of yourself that they don't necessarily need to know. Because the honest truth is that most people are not going to care what you're going to say. Even if it is personal, they're going to acknowledge it, and then they're going to move on. They're not going to sit on it. They're not going to look at you and say, wow, that's in this bay view of attention. They're not going to do that. No one's going to do that, because everyone has their own individual lives, and the whole point of life is moving, so if you're just sitting around and, just bathing in your own misery and sorrow, like, not many people are going to stick around for that, like, I'm just speaking on a real note, just speaking real, not about just filmmaking. I'm talking about, that real reason why people tell stories, Tell stories because you want to do it and because it's fun. Leave the personal element, maybe, like, I always say at work personally, but don't do it don't do it to where it is, don't do it to where it's exploitative. Do it to where you're just simply passionate about what you're making. Have fun, but have the passion. It's a measure of how personal it is. So if you're just going out here and just telling everybody all your business, then you shouldn't be releasing that thing. You shouldn't even be working on that thing. Keep it to yourself. Because you're going to regret putting it out there. Because ultimately you're just projecting. Even if you call it art, it's still projecting. So, like, so, so it's an interesting thought that flows my mind today. I was just thinking about that. I was like, yeah, it is pretty exploitative, and I think that people just need to acknowledge the reason of why they do it. It's not just for the artistry. It's not just for the simple fact that you like to operate in film. It's not all that. It's not because you have a story to tell, or the world needs to hear about this. I've heard that phrase a lot. The world needs to hear this, or whatever like that. The world don't care about what you gotta say. The world don't care about anything you gotta say. That's just the honest truth. And if you don't like that, sorry, but that's just reality. The world don't care about what you gotta say. You are the only person in this world who cares about what you gotta say in that capacity. That's the truth. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be personal in other ways, but in this circumstance, it's exploitative. And you're going to be regretting that, in my opinion, many years down the road when it's all said and done. So those are my thoughts. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but I just kind of felt like just kind of putting those thoughts out there. But be personal, man. I mean, if you need to talk to someone, talk to family, talk to friends. If you got a therapist, we can talk to them as well. But don't use this as your outlet. Just don't. Maybe just go to the beach. Maybe just go for a surf, or go for a bike ride like these guys over here. Go to the gym. Do you have many other healthier ways of processing emotions? You don't need to put that all out on Front Street, because you're gonna regret it. At least that's just me. I'm not saying avoid film. I'm saying avoid the stereotype of why people seek film and the art of it. Do it because you just want to do it, because it just looks fun, and just do it for the fun of it, and have the passion for it. Thus, have some level of personal element there, but not to where you're just spilling the beans. Enough to where you're having fun, and we can have fun too. So those are my thoughts. I'm a hypocrite, obviously, because like I said, the more personal it is, the better the film is. but I'm just speaking purely from the the whole reason behind it, you know. But you guys know your thoughts on the whole thing. Do you guys think cinema is exploitative? I would be surprised if you guys say flat out no, because it obviously is. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And oh yeah, I mean, also, look, I'm a huge hypocrite on what I'm saying, because look, I've done films in the past, and I have a whole channel dedicated to film. So believe me, I understand that I look like a big fat hypocrite, and I acknowledge that. You know, so just you know, I'm out of myself. You know, I know that. So, but I think that what I'm saying is completely valid. So, but you guys let me know in the comment section below your thoughts, and that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.